Oops. So sorry.
Somebody didn't turn off her speaker. Hello and welcome to this week's Sunday Night Live. Looking forward to a really exciting show today because let's face it, LinkedIn is where business is done. I've spent years building my LinkedIn profile and I've connected with a lot of people, and most of the business I do today is on LinkedIn. But it doesn't happen overnight. Well, it could happen overnight, but only if you know the right people. And I was fortunate to have met up with Elisa and David here on LinkedIn First. I was in California at a grand opening of Davio's, and while out there, Elisa and I met up for coffee. So it's always nice to put the face with the name and the person that you're connected with online. But there's so much to it, right? Just when you think you have it all figured out, there's so much more stuff than you can do to build your business and build your brand. And that's why tonight's show is going to be very exciting. Please make sure that if you have any questions at all, Elisa and David, these folks are experts in building your brand online on LinkedIn. So I welcome everybody here. And why don't you guys tell everybody a little bit about yourselves, and then we'll jump right in.
Ladies first.
Ladies first.
My name is Elisa Bennett, and I help people to generate leads on LinkedIn. So Paul asked me to be on this live with David, and I was questioning the logic of it, but David helps people with getting a job. And there's this whole robot thing David's going to tell you about that I had no clue about, but me. So the good combination is that I help if you're looking to grow your business, and David helps if you're looking to get a job. So differentiation. Thank you, Paul, for the hand signals.
All right, David, you're up.
All right, David Alto. I provide resume, LinkedIn, interview, career coaching, and yes, so these evil bots, I'm sure we'll get into it a little bit later, but when people apply online, they are normally applying to a company website, and those companies are getting 400 to 500, 600 plus applicants. They have to have some kind of software to weed out people that are unqualified based on some keywords and stuff like that. So I help my clients, besides writing resumes and LinkedIn profiles, is really getting their resume seen by a real person past the bots, and my clients end up getting a lot more interviews. So that's it, Paul. See you later. Bye.
All right. Not so fast. We have a whole hour to spend together. Sometimes we run a couple of minutes over, but let me just make sure I acknowledge some of our viewers here. And we start off with David Munford. Welcome. David says, hey, Paul, Ty Thompson, good evening, friends. I was on their show, ATI, on YouTube. Fabulous, fabulous bunch of guys there. Steve Chesson says, hi. And Steve, don't start the echo thing. Russ Mann, this is going to be good. And Linda Hansen, happy Sunday. Linda Hansen says, love Davio's. Foxborough location is amazing. Well, Linda, my love of Davio started at Foxborough. I've been to 8 of Steve's 10 restaurants. So I have a very special place in my heart. If anybody's going to go, let me know. I'll reach out to him before you go there. And it might be a little different experience. David says, ooh, this should be amazing. Ron Usher, my favorite master tech, says, LinkedIn friends, hello. David says, hi, Elisa and David. Michael Dean Alfmuth, hey guys. And Mike Melian, hello everyone. Roslow US says, can't wait to learn more. Whew. All right. So, LinkedIn, it's funny. I ask people, hey, are you on LinkedIn? And then there's a pause. Well, if you have to pause to answer that question, the answer is no, you're not on LinkedIn. You may have an account, but you're not on LinkedIn. And it's more than just signing in, because it's a whole community, right? If you build a community on LinkedIn, you have a network of people that are like-minded, that are in your industry, where you can help them and they can help you. you're all in a trusted group. So let's start with you, Elisa. How does someone become visible on LinkedIn?
Well, if you're just going to do one thing and one thing only, how about having a profile picture? It follows you everywhere. So I see some people and there's just nothing there, right? So what nothing there means is please don't talk to me. I have all the business I can handle. I don't want any more, and just don't bother me. And then just take it from there and try not to do the social media accident of having somebody's hand coming across or somebody's hat. So make it look like you can afford a budget for a profile picture, which says that I'm successful enough that I might be able to help you. And show up in that picture in a way that would be similar to showing up to your best client, right? So sometimes we think of social media across the board and we're showing up on Facebook or Instagram maybe one way, but LinkedIn definitely is business minded. So how are you going to show up for that, for David helping people with jobs? How are you going to show up for that job interview? With me helping people generate leads and clients, how are you going to show up for your very favorite client conversation that you would have? Show up that way in your profile picture. That one thing alone is going to follow you across LinkedIn everywhere more than anything else. So just start with that, call it a day. Don't feel so horrible if you don't have things perfect on LinkedIn. Paul, when you're saying you ask people, how are you on LinkedIn? And they're, just get your profile picture right. And then when you have time, go to the next step.
And David, what are some of the things that you're seeing in that regard?
Sure. So, listen, when you ask people, are you on LinkedIn, right? They still think that LinkedIn is for recruiters and people that want jobs. And it just isn't. Now, sure, that's kind of, how the platform got it, its start, but no, it's so much more than that. B2B is happening, just relationships are happening. And I'm not talking about getting married, but I'm just talking about just true relationships. I have developed so many friendships on LinkedIn, and I connect with people for different industries as long as they're like-minded. And most of the people that I've met on LinkedIn do nothing remotely what I do. So again, it's social. It's social like Facebook without the Facebook drama, right? And again, I think if people just give LinkedIn a chance, take a few minutes, take 20 minutes a day that you're on Facebook and devote it to LinkedIn, and you might find it that it's a different platform than you think.
Now, do you feel that people need to post their resume, David, on LinkedIn, or is the fact that they have their history on LinkedIn sufficient? What are some best practices around that?
Sure. So the most of the coaches that do what I do specifically, yes, we say do not put your resume on your LinkedIn, because your LinkedIn profile really is your resume plus some. A lot of people don't know this. A recruiter or a hiring manager, if you have all the amazing content on your LinkedIn profile, they can go to your More button, click your More button, and convert your LinkedIn profile to a PDF that kind of looks and resembles a resume with that content on there that they might use to compare to that job. But no, there's just really no need. Your LinkedIn profile really is your resume and then some.
So then anybody, I didn't even know that. So you click the More button, and then you can literally turn that whole page into a resume.
Yes, and a lot of recruiters will, like, if they find you on LinkedIn and they think you might be a good fit, besides visually looking at your LinkedIn profile, they may do that, download it, and then compare it, and maybe even scan it versus that job to see if you're a good fit.
Ah, okay. Interesting. So now, Elisa, let me ask you a question. So now we put stuff on our LinkedIn, we put our work history, and just a side note on the work history, one thing I notice is sometimes someone will, let's say they'll have a job that didn't quite work out for them, and they used to have it on their LinkedIn, but now it shows no longer on their LinkedIn. Then their old job extended further than it really did. Is that a problem?
Well, when you're helping clients, when you're generating leads for a business, all they really care about is how you can help them. So let's take the fact that the platform was originated to get people jobs, and let's realize that once you decide to launch your own business, you need to flip that over, and your experience section becomes your case study section and how you help people in a certain period of time. They don't care about the fact that I sold candy bars and 2x'd my numbers when I was in the 5th grade with Chrissy and Shannon. They don't care that out of college, I worked for IBM and, AAA and Fireman's Fund Insurance Company and blah, 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 blah. All they care about is that my client, Julie, was able to 275 times her ROI invested in me and take her numbers from 9 clients to 55 clients in a year's period of time. So your experience section, where it used to be a resume, now you can use it like a highly converting landing page. Your most highly converting landing page for most people, it can be on LinkedIn if you simply speak to how you help people. If that makes sense.
The what's in it for me.
How do you help people? How do you help people? How do you help people? It's really difficult because what we think when we own the business is what we want to do for people. And that's the end of the road, right? Our clients are right here. Their needs are here, but we know where we can take them. So we're all speaking to this end of the road because that's the only language that we know. We're talking to our peers like we are right now, right? We're talking about all of this stuff that we know about LinkedIn. That's not the language that they resonate with. So if we can just focus on the experience section just for this part of the conversation and say, case study, do you have one? Put it there. End of day. What were the results? How did you help this one individual?
That's really cool because in my business, in dealervendormatch.com, where I match dealers and the vendors in a way that, we open doors. All right. And what's funny is I tell everybody, I said, listen, you want to get in front of the key decision maker. If you do, you only have this much time to get your point across. So as you say with a case study, that tells them, your prospective client, what's in it for them. I tell my clients all the time, listen, your elevator pitch, 30 to 60 seconds, needs to hit the points that are important to your dealer or your customer immediately, because if it resonates with them right away, then they'll know that you understand their business and that you can actually help them. As opposed to, we would ordinarily just want to say, hey, I was on the swim team and I did this and I did that.
My accomplishments, CEO, and all my experience, blah, blah, blah. Great for David's clients. And thank you, Linda Hansen, for your comments. So with you, Paul, you've got 30 to 60 seconds. On LinkedIn, we have 3 to 5 seconds.
Yes.
So that upper portion of the LinkedIn page, the banner, the headline, how do you help people?
Yeah.
David's got this incredible story about the bots. And, if anybody can just take a peek at David Alto's page, I love he's got this cartoon of him wrestling the bots. But when you transition to generating leads for clients that you're trying to attract, what you're combating is your own mindset of how do you help people. And the way that you can trick yourself into turning off that thinking machine that's going to make it so that you're writing all this stuff that you think is just brilliant is to look at your own recommendations section on LinkedIn is what it's called, or testimonials anywhere else, but only for that one low-hanging fruit opportunity that you want to attract clients for. What did your clients already say? Repurpose those words into your headline. into your banner copy. And that is what they're going to resonate with. That's what they're saying already.
Right.
So just repurpose it.
Awesome. Let me just get caught up on a few comments here. Sometimes you run a little bit behind on that. Let's see here. Linda says, and his book is wonderful. And David Munford, Roz Lowe, US, hey Roz. Roz says, hey back. Terry says he's having audio problems. Terry, I hope you've worked out your audio problems, because no one else is saying they're having audio problems, so it might be your internet. So try rebooting if that doesn't take care of it. And David says, Roz, need you to get anyone on here on my podcast. All right. Yes, I need to check out your podcast, David. And Beth Crosby says, I'm not getting a feed. I hope she's worked that out, because, like I said, everybody else.
Beth.
If you have her number, you want to text her, maybe suggest rebooting or something. That seems to fix everybody's issue. Michael Landis says, good evening. And Roz says to David, let's do it. Frederick Subprime Hero, yes. Aaron Bratcher, hey folks. Beth Crosby says hello. So I think she's worked it out. Okay. Let's see here. And Mark says hello from Cincinnati, Ohio. Linda Hanson, LinkedIn is wonderful for sharing business articles and gathering additional perspectives. To that point, Linda and others, what's interesting is that I see sometimes people post stuff that's controversial. Okay, and I believe, and I may not be 100% correct, but I believe there are certain things that LinkedIn is probably not best suited for. Politics being one of them. And if you have a disagreement with someone, there are ways to positively disagree. So I saw a guy do a post where he just lambasted a particular department at a dealership. And though he was factually correct in what he was saying, I would have worded it a little bit differently. And what I did is I engaged with the post, and I gave my side of it. I said, hey, you may be factually correct, but here are the counterpoints, and here's why I feel the way I do with the supporting documentation. And the two people that were aggressively responding to that person, I've since connected with and had conversations with. So there are good ways and bad ways to engage with people like that. Let's see here. Roz says, LinkedIn, the taxpayers network.
75K plus average person on LinkedIn, 20 something on Facebook. So for sure.
Yeah, a little bit different. And Linda says, wow, I just skipped through a bunch of stuff here. That's the only problem with the mouse. I just updated the software, and now it seems turbocharged. Linda says, Alyssa, interesting take. Thank you. And Kenneth Dunner, that's my friend from Sugar Land, Texas. Oh my God, the one and only David Alto is in Paul's house tonight.
Kenny, thank you for that scrumdiddlyicious comment. And if anybody knows Kenny, I know Kenny. I've talked to him several times.
A great guy. And Ty Thompson says, great insight, Alyssa.
Thank you, Ty.
What's real cool about this is that you guys, this stuff just rolls off because you live it. It's nothing you have to think about. It's like when people, I do demos with some of my sales guys, and the customers ask questions, and I never have to think about the answer because I live it. I understand it. I breathe it. It's part of me. So just like you guys answer the questions immediately, it's the same thing. Michael Larkin says, brilliant session, brilliant people. I'm going to get a hand cramp tonight writing notes. Ouch. Frederick Subprime Hero says, hello. And Steve Apicella, I really appreciate when a person's LinkedIn post contributes something that shows their expertise, unique business perspective, and or insight on a relevant topic. It reveals so much more than just directly trying to sell themselves or a company.
Yeah. Engagement actually is the trifecta that you eventually want to get to. If you could just do your profile picture and then just engage on other people's content, if that's all you could do, it shows your personality. It shows who you are. People start to resonate with you, kind of like, Paul, what you've created here. People get to sort of know us as humans, and that we're not just trying to take. And so when you go onto somebody's content, it's not you saying, I am Elisa and I do LinkedIn and, blah, 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 blah. You're sharing and giving value to somebody else. And also to circle back to your point, Paul, of the people that would say salacious kinds of things, political kinds of things, people that will go off-roading into, these incredible topics that a classier or smarter person may not. Know that if that's targeted at you, that creates a ton of visibility, and it's an okay thing. Like you said, Paul, I jumped in and then I connected with 2 people. There's something, if we look to the news right now, right? 6 times we're going to remember negative news over positive news. So if somebody comes and chooses to jump on our content and say horrible things to us, just remember, you never want to say anything publicly or even privately in an email that you wouldn't want posted on a billboard. Okay, correct. So keep it classy, but know that that person is giving you tons of visibility, like 6x. And then Paul's going to come in and, talk about how great you are, because everybody loves the underdog. So as much as people will roll around in the mud, let them, and then benefit from it.
So then that's actually a good thing. I didn't quite see it that way, which is what I love about interacting in post, because look, we know what we know based on our past experiences. And when somebody else interjects what they believe based on their experiences, sometimes you see it quite differently. So I didn't know that it's 6 times the impact when somebody reacts negatively. Now, that doesn't mean you guys should roast me on here, because we're not looking for that. But an occasional, I guess from what you're saying, Elisa, that's actually a good thing, as long as then people interact in a positive way, kind of like bring it back to center.
Just know the value of it. Like, if we look at the news, there is no happy news channel, right? Yeah. It's always the 0.0000001% of the worst possible thing that's going on that we're hearing about. And we're glued to it. We drive by the car wreck and we look at it. It's the natural human condition. So why not? Where are you, Paul? Are you in a spaceship? I don't know. It's kind of Joe Rogan-esque. You just need a little bit of red. But it's just simply the fact and the numbers. So why would you hate on that? I mean, as much as I don't want to say the word Trump because it pulls people left or right, the man, by saying things that he was extremely passionate about that resonated in a wrong way with some people, that gave him trillions, not billions of dollars of free ad spend. So if somebody jumps on your page, don't worry about it. Be thrilled about it. Go on, do your thing. And then the Pauls of the world will come in and save you. And there you go.
Interesting.
That is so true, Paul. I remember a post I did, and somebody came in and was negative, and everybody came to like my rest. They're like, delete it, Dave. And I'm like, not just yet, because I want to have a conversation. I want to still keep this going, not to get attention, but just because this person wanted to be heard. So he wasn't that bad yet. So I didn't delete it, because you can if you're the one that posted it. But again, it's okay for people to have. And then, sure enough, that guy actually became a good friend, and I'm actually paying him to do some work for me. Because at the end of the day, it wasn't that bad. He had a different opinion. I listened to it, and then we took it offline, and then we had a couple conversations, and there it is. So again, but yes, as much as I as much as I hate to say, Trump is a brilliant individual. There's a reason he's good at doing what he does, regardless of what you think of him. So again, you need to engage on the platform. Now I know you'd said something about post something that you're a subject matter expert at, right, Paul?
Yeah.
Well, look. People think that, oh, I'm not a subject matter expert. I'm just but you are. I still remember my very first post, Paul, January 24th, 2019. Oh, excuse me, not post, video. First video on LinkedIn, not my first post, but my first video that I did, January 24th, 2019. Why do I remember that? That was my 50th birthday. What I wanted to share with everybody, not my birthday, I wanted to share that I was excited because I got to contribute more to my 401k, because when you turn 50, you actually get to contribute more to your 401k at work, more than the average person. And you know what? I knew that. Not that I'm some money guru. I like to think of myself as like somewhat of a big saver and kind of money guru, but I didn't go to school for it or whatever. But I shared because I wanted other people to know, and a lot of people didn't know, and they really enjoyed it. So again, you're a subject matter expert at something. So yes, get that profile photo, because we got to be able to see your eyes. We got to be able to connect with you, and then post something. Even if it's not a video, post something that you're a subject matter expert at, and engage with others on the platform, and you'll have an amazing time.
Now,
David, if you were just going to post one thing, would you post an article so that it stuck to the platform? Or what do you think about that?
I think, initially when people, join, they're just going to do some random post, then maybe a video, then maybe an article over time. I guess it really just depends on your experience. You can create an article and then turn it into weeks worth of content, mini content, right? Because you can break it up. So I guess it just, on your comfort level, but, don't just like a post. In fact, I would rather you not even like a post. I would rather you comment on something that you learned from it, or something that you can bring to that conversation. So, and the rest is, you could do a poll, you could do a post video, no video, a picture, article, like you said. So I guess it just depends on your, comfort level, but you got to just do something.
Do something. I'm seeing the hugest engagements on polls right now. So yeah. And you're right that you can create tons of content out of an article. I'm looking at, for instance, Paul, when you're interviewing all of us right now, I do a weekly coaching for my clients. So I'll interview people that would be a value add of things that I'm not helping them with, like writing a book that could be on the same shelf as the what is it? The Soup for the Soul series, Deepak Chopra, like major brands. And so then taking that interview, chopping it up, and then creating an article, but having articles, because they stick, I think are really good if you have a very valuable piece of content. But I'm seeing some very high level people that aren't in your space, David, helping people get jobs, but in the lead gen space, that they're just doing poll, and their numbers are shooting off the charts to the point that it's just like, come on. But still, if you were just going to do one thing right now, from what I'm seeing with the algorithm, polls are quite the thing.
Oh, yes, I totally agree. And because those are people that are telling you their answers, and you follow up on a few of them, and again, they're telling you what, depending on the poll, right?
Exactly. It's not just the algorithm, but it's the results of that conversation. So for sure.
Polls are getting a lot of traction right now. Yes.
They're guiding you with content.
Yeah. So what I'm seeing is people, they do a poll, and then from what's discussed in the poll, then they create that article. But the algorithm on the poll is pushing up all the rest of their content, because the poll is getting so much attention from LinkedIn. And then once that poll has been created, people are saying their opinions, and then you can put your opinion based on that's the whole thing, is listen to your clients. How do you help them? Use their own words to tell how you help them. And then within a poll, what are they saying about what they're interested in, that topic that you've brought up to them? And then you address that.
I haven't done much in the way of polls. I think I don't even know if I did one, actually. So that's something I definitely need to get better at. My friend Gene, who we see here, is extremely good at polls. He's does a lot of polls and gets a lot of engagement. Now, speaking of engagement, you know, I see sometimes people post stuff that's good content, yet people don't interact with it. And to your point, David, I'd rather not have somebody like it, more comment. My wife always laughs at me because she'll send me to the supermarket to pick up coffee, right? The supermarket is 5-7 minutes from our home, but yet I'll be gone for 2 hours. And in part because I have notifications set for LinkedIn, right? So I'm very active in social media because it's where I get my clients from. So I get notifications, and I make it a point to actually comment on or respond to content, as opposed to just a like or the generic, you know, the pre-fill answer. I don't believe in the pre-fill answer. I hate that. You see, you know, it's somebody's birthday or somebody got a new job. Congrats, Bob. Congrats, Bob. Congrats, Bob. Congrats, Bob. Congrats, Bob. Congrats, Bob. As opposed to congratulations on your new job, Bob. Very excited for you, and I'm wishing you continued success in your new endeavor. And then the following ones are congrats, Bob. Congrats, Bob. Another 30. Congrats, Bob. It's like, really? Why bother? Let me get caught up on a couple more comments here before we go further. John Banks says, wow, great info. Thank you. Joe Perez, great show, Paul. Thank you, Joe. I'm glad you're here, man. Abel Aguirre, howdy, great topic. And Beth Crosby says, Steve Apicella, yes, sharing tells us who you are. Hashtag your story is your strength. I love hashtags, by the way. Hashtag dealervendomax.com. Dean Girdley says, the master giver, David Alto. I think, Gene, what we learned this week is that if we want David, we need to do like I did and wait weeks for him to finally say yes. And Beth Crosby says, oops, I scanned too fast. My experience is that posts disappear, but articles stay forever and can show your expertise as an subject matter expert, exclamation point. Now, what I wanted to ask both of you is, my content tends to be mostly videos because I love video. That's why Ted gave me the nickname, hashtag Spielberg. So I love video. I don't do much in the way of articles. Now, we just learned that the polls through the roof on engagement. If you were to say, all right, so here's my content strategy. I need a good number of polls. Is it a 50-50 on video versus articles? Is it a different percentage? What should I be doing to get more beyond the polls to get more engagement? Is it video, articles? I don't do articles. I probably should, but give me your professional opinions, please.
Do you want me to go for it?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. So, Paul, first of all, I would say, are you looking at other people's content, right? So if I was looking at somebody's content and all I saw was video, if they weren't just the most and the best and I don't know, incredible, like life-changing moments every single time, then we're going to get fatigue. It's like ad fatigue. So we want some variety, spice of life. So what you want to do is you want to look at the algorithm. Keep your machine going. Don't reinvent the wheel. You've got it running. It's working really well for you. You're repurposing. You're on multiple platforms. That is brilliant, off the charts. David and I are obsessed with LinkedIn. That's a whole different thing. Okay. So you're off the charts. You're very engaged. You're doing all these wonderful things. Now, if you want to go deep on LinkedIn with what you've already got going on, then just look and see what was going on with maybe this interview was off the charts. So then you could take that interview, you could send it to Fiverr, Fiverr.com, or, some sort of a site that will help you cost effectively chop that video up and then do a transcription of the video, right? This is the video that was viral, let's say. it got 10,000 views where the rest of yours got 500. So you know that your audience is into it. I had somebody come to me and say, I would like to know how to make things bold and italic on LinkedIn. And I'm like, well, that's stupid. Because if me and David are talking, we're totally obsessed with LinkedIn in a way that we know is the end of the road, right? It's not about that. So when I made an article based on bold and italic, I'm like, that's dumb, but yeah, I'll create it for you. You're my client. That's fine. And so then every single person is going to that article of mine. So same thing with you. You just look and see, what does everybody love? Repurpose that one thing, create a condensed video to place in it, create an article, and then reshare that out. Only 10% of our audience on a good day is going to see our content. And if our content is valuable and helping, which I know for sure yours is, then repurpose that into an article that's static, and in 6 months people can see it. Because with a post, just like the people in your feed were saying, the posts, they get pushed down. But an article, that one thing that we already know, the algorithm showed us, 10,000 people love this one versus the other ones. Why not repurpose that one piece of content and create an article out of it?
And Paul, I'll talk about articles. So, a lot of times articles don't get a lot of engagement or a lot of views in the beginning. But what I do is every so often, I'll re-put that same article that I made 6 months ago, and I'll repost it, or I take bits of it. Like we were saying, I'll take bits of it and talk about it on this week, and then next week I'll talk another little bit of it. So then now that article is getting even more engagement. People are, going to my, profile. Maybe I have it in the featured section or whatever, or I mix it up once in a while. So there's no reason that you can't go back to something that worked. If you have a post that blew up 7 months ago, hopefully you saved it, because there's probably, there's no reason you can't share something like that again. I don't do it that often, but occasionally, yes, I go back to the vault. Maybe I, even though I plan content out, maybe someday I wake up and I'm like, I don't know what to do today. And you know what? Maybe I purpose something. So again, don't think, especially if you post often, that you can't go back to something, or maybe it didn't work before. Put a different hashtag, do it a different time of day, do something again. And put it on. Again, somebody is going to find valuable, content. I do a combination of polls, posts, whatever. I really don't have a rhyme or reason. It's just what I feel like doing. Now, again, I did the video thing every day for 70 straight days. I did a video challenge that was a 30-day video challenge. I ended up going 70 days. But I needed that. That was well into my beginning of my LinkedIn career. And I needed that, just to fine tune some things. And your video doesn't have to be perfect. I don't edit my videos. I don't edit them. If I screw up, I either delete it or I cough, excuse me, and I keep going. People want people that are real. Yeah. That's right. So who cares if you screw up? And 24 hours, 48 hours from now, if it happens to, get some traction and last for a couple of days, you know what? Who cares? Because somebody, again, after that, time's up, it's on to the next one. So if you mess up or whatever, don't go for perfection. And I'm a perfectionist, I am. But when it comes to video on LinkedIn, I do not have the time to redo it. Now, if I was putting out some, high quality and I needed it to be, then I would take my time, maybe pay somebody or whatever. But for LinkedIn, people want to connect with you, and regular people, they mess up, they screw up, who cares? So
now, in regards to resharing an article, let's say, or a piece of content, are you talking about saving the content and then reposting that content as a new, or resharing the original article from way back when and then just hit share that same article, or create a brand new post fresh?
I create a brand new post, but I may just copy it and paste it in there, right? I'm not sharing it, because generally shares, although my highest engaging post ever was a share, but that was a year ago. The algorithm was a little different. That was 199,000 views. but it was a share. It kept going for like a week and a half. But that was a share. But shares now generally do not do nothing. If you're trying to share something of somebody you like or whatever, you can see occasionally one that gets some traction or whatever. But yeah, shares generally just don't get much traction. So again, I just make it new. Maybe
let me get caught up on a couple of comments. Jeff Daniel, engagement is huge. Share. You'll be surprised at what you know and what you forgot. Beth Crosby says yes, then reuse content. Ty Thompson, a lot of great ideas. Thanks. And David Munford says, I try to post at least once a day. I don't, unfortunately, have as much time to post once a day. I don't know. My days start early and end really late. And even though I set my my sleep thing to, at 10:15 to start thinking about going to sleep, start winding it down. And there it is at 12:30, 1 a.m. I'm shutting off the lights in the studio and I'm heading up to bed only to get ready to start doing it all over again. Let's see, a couple more comments here. Ron Usher says, I try to post things that I live in my world of automotive. I may see things every day in the auto world that the average person may not know about and give someone an idea of what they may think they would like to do as a career. I like that. Joe Perez says, hashtag dealervendormatch.com, hashtag fixed ops pros. I love it. And Beth Crosby says that Paul transcribe the videos. Yes, I'm gonna have to look into that. And she said, Paul Meyer, have someone transcribe and or create posts and articles. And Steve Apicella says, I often have new messages on LinkedIn that lead to real relationships inspired by my posts or articles where the individual never commented or liked my post directly. In my opinion, LinkedIn is not as valuable as a popularity contest, how many likes I got, as much as it's a meaningful engagement platform when used correctly. Yeah. I have met so many awesome people through LinkedIn that I now do business with and or associate with offline. And Mark says, hi back, Linda Hansen. Beth Crosby, you can click 3 dots above the post to copy the link. Then that way you can keep a list of your posts and find them after they disappear. LinkedIn user, it says LinkedIn user, which I believe.
Good job, Beth. Hello, Beth.
I have an answer to LinkedIn user.
Go for it. And that's Robert Marcarelli, by the way. And the question is, do you use software or apps to post or schedule posts? Take it away. Okay,
so this combines Beth Crosby and LinkedIn user. So it's called trylately.com. Try, TRYLATELY.com. I think Paul's putting that in the chat. Trylately.com uses artificial intelligence and it takes the 3 dots like Beth Crosby is saying. So in your post, there's the upper right-hand corner and there's 3 dots. When that opens up, it gives you a link to copy. And then you can put that into the Trylately tool, or as Beth says, if you want to do this on a budget, you can just put it in a spreadsheet. So keeping track of your best content and having it on rotation, I like to think of a 6-month rotation to repurpose your content. And then like David says, if you can create fresh new all the time, that's better. But like Paul says, I'm busy. I'm going to bed late. I'm getting up early. I got all these shows. I got stuff going on. So that's where Trylately comes in. So Trylately, you can paste your own content or anyone else's content or video. It will chop up a video. It'll chop up a blog post and give you artificial intelligence post at the top. So where one person's going to respond to how you created this post originally and the words that you created, it's going to give you 10, 20, 50 different ways that it's going to rewrite this original post for you and then link to that content. Then You're getting excited, Paul. Then, okay, so it's going to chop up your blog post or your video. So your video will be chopped into little 15, 18-second teasers with the copy at the top. Then you go in, because you do not ever, ever, ever want any copywriter, no matter how much you're spending, or any artificial intelligence to completely write your copy without you checking it out. So put your Paul Sparkle, your David Sparkle, your Elisa Sparkle on it, your brand, right? Look through all of those posts, make them your own, put your little emojis if you like them, or your personality, and then you can auto post them in your calendar. So now you've got post. That's all scheduled, off the plate. On to the next one. Paul, look at how happy you are.
Well, it reminds me of a song. So you can post 50 pieces of content on Try Lately.
I'm saying from one post, I've seen it repurpose one piece of content into 10, 20, 50 different pieces of content. Then I decide what I like. I customize it. I click a button. Woof. I decide how far out it's going to go, 6 months, or do I want to just totally torture everybody and have it posted every day? You need to figure out your strategy, but that's the whole point, right? So, Paul, you're creating these great videos that not everybody's up on Sunday night, right? Some people are chilling. I'm like, Sunday, okay, maybe. But so now only 10% of your audience saw this incredible interview. So then you decide to repurpose it, and now you can keep it going for the next year. And the copy is written in different words. So maybe David would have resonated with this phrase, and David clicks on this one. Maybe, Janice resonated with this phrase and Janice clicked on this one. So now you're helping your audience to take advantage of the helpful content that you're creating, because you're not just writing it once and then fingers crossed that the right 10% saw it on that day.
50 ways to post your content. I had to say that, sorry.
I get the reference.
I think I know the song.
I think the words are a little different, but the melody is similar. And let's see. Beth Crosby says, good advice, Ron Usher. And Jean Girdley says, lurkers are buyers. That is very true.
So true.
I get LinkedIn requests, and I always respond, hey, thanks for connecting. How did you find my profile? Have you seen the show? Yada, yada, yada. And one guy told me, my boss told me I should connect with you because he watches your show every week. Really? Who's your boss? Tells me the name. I look him up. Sure enough, we're connected. But I'm coming up on a year of the show now, and not once had his boss commented, liked, or interacted with anything on the show. But yet every week he watches it. So the moral here is everybody's always watching. So trylately.com, you guys might want to check that out. I posted that in the comment section. And let's see.
Try Lately, I think it has an option if you just go to the site where you can put your video in and it'll chop it up for you, where you can sort of test it out. So
interesting. Yeah. Is that a subscription service as well?
It's about 100 to, I think, 2 or 3, depending on if you're getting the video or just the blog post repurposing part. They've created a COVID pricing strategy where before it was all or nothing.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
But if you're posting often, these tools.
Like, oh my gosh!
I use some other programs to pre-post some things, and because if I didn't have that, again, right. You only have so much time in a day, right, Paul?
There's only 24 hours, and 4 of them are for sleep.
4? Really?
No, 6.
You get 4?
About 6.
Oh, okay. No, yeah. I mean, it does, and it's not cheating. It's helping you manage your time more effectively.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. Let me get caught up on a couple here. Steve Apicella says, please share your feelings about LinkedIn's algorithms based on asking a question in your post, hashtags or some other post attributes to achieve the greatest audience exposure.
Oh, please, can I answer that? Can I answer that real quick?
Yes, go for it.
This will be quick. The minute that you think you know the algorithm, you don't. If anybody tells you they know it all the algorithms, nothing, they don't. It changes. So guess what? I don't really try to even understand it, kind of, sort of, right? I know what kind of works, but at the end of the day, don't try to make a post go viral, because it probably won't. Some of the ones that you get the most engagement on might be the ones that you never thought would get that much engagement. So again, there are some best practices, yes. So there are a couple people that I follow that don't have to put any hashtags because they have 1.4 million followers, right? I have to use hashtags. I don't yet have that many, not even close. But again, so yes, you still need to be strategic, but don't consume yourself with knowing this or that. And if it doesn't work, or if you want to try this or try that, that's okay as well too. So.
I am following the algorithm chat, and I would absolutely agree with what David is saying, that the whole point of algorithm is it's a secret and a guess. So the people that are giving you the information on the algorithm are saying what they saw yesterday, basically. So what the experts saw yesterday is 3 to 10 hashtags. So don't go over 10, don't go under 3, and thoughtfully create a hashtag. So what you don't want to do is have a hashtag. I'm creating a post about LinkedIn, and then I do hashtag COVID, because I'm trying to surf the wave of attention of COVID. That's going to get you a suppression of your audience. Then the other hashtag comment, which I think that was what the post was asking, was specifically.
Has to be relative. Has to be related to your post. Otherwise, you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Exactly. So no trying to stuff the algorithm, right? So if I'm saying COVID, I'm trying to push audience to my post that's actually about LinkedIn. So don't do that. And then if you're going to have your own hashtag, have it be unique enough that nobody can surf on your traffic. So what that would look like is Elisa loves LinkedIn, right? My tagline is leads you love. Anyone can jump in on that. So I'm not going to hashtag and grow my audience on leads you love. I'm going to grow it on Elisa loves LinkedIn, because how many people can specifically jump in that wave and not realize that it's me? Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So those are my hashtag rules.
Now it's appropriate that we talk about hashtag stuffing around Thanksgiving time. Sorry.
And not cornbread. That's the only rule.
All right. Jeff Daniel says, thankfully, LinkedIn videos aren't Kardashian scripted. Real folks helping real growth. And Beth Crosby says, thanks, Lisa B. Bennett, leads you love. And Jean Gurley says, that brick background is very realistic, David Alto. And Joe Perez says, that was awesome, Paul. No, actually, that was awesome, David and Elisa and Paul.
Thank
and
you.
Michael Larkin says, I'm curating customized content, automating 30 days of free content. Post 2 a day on your follower, or your followers will go away.
Can you say that again? I didn't follow that.
I'm curating content, customized content, automating 30 days of free content. Post 2 a day, or your followers will go away.
Okay.
If you don't post twice a day, you lose followers. I'm not sure.
I think Michael subscribes to the Vaynerchuk, more is better, and Vaynerchuk's a multimillionaire based on this strategy. So Michael's onto something. The audience I think that we're all pulling in this trifecta here is people that are a little bit solopreneurs. So maybe Michael's saying that Michael has the ability to help people out more. So what Vaynerchuk is saying, Gary Vaynerchuk, he's got a something you can just search online. Gary V. Yep, Gary V, Gary Vaynerchuk, 64 pieces of content a day, 100 pieces of content a day. I think he's at 150 million annual revenue. right now with his agency, and it was all grown off of organic traffic. So there is something to what Michael is saying. If you're a solopreneur and you're just kind of having trouble waking up and getting groceries into the house, and you did want to focus on content, my minimum that you could feel really great about is 3 times a week. And then if you could, the next clip level could be once a day. That would be like, wow. And then as Michael is saying, twice. And on LinkedIn, if you look at Gary Vee, which he's, max betting everything, he's at, I think, 4 times a day on LinkedIn. So those would be the clip levels.
Wow, that's a lot of content. I just don't have that kind of content. That is so much.
Yeah, no, we're all solopreneurs here. So
well, it is okay, Paul, because some people do appreciate the occasional puppy photo or funny video because maybe they left Facebook and they kind of like that, or maybe you're telling not necessarily a joke or whatever, but again, so there are plenty of people. I mean, there are plenty of people that say, well, how dare you post something about a puppy? Because that's stupid. I mean, they'll come out and, comment on it. But again, then I remember when I got my puppy a year ago, I posted a video of it, right? I thought it was cute. I got, again, I got so much engagement. They're like, oh, thank you for doing that. I had a bad day and that puppy made me laugh. And, because again, just share you, because look, some people will like you, some people won't. There's plenty of people. There's 700 million people on LinkedIn or somewhere right around there. Look, not everybody's going to like your content. That's okay. Do you post about what you want to post about? Maybe not about, politics or whatever.
I completely agree.
People buy from people they like and trust. They want to know that you're human, that you're real.
Yes.
Now, that, everything within certain boundaries, don't go crazy on stuff. But yeah, absolutely. Most of my LinkedIn is business, but every once in a while I do post something personal. Russ Mann says, outstanding info, everyone. Thank you. Steve Apicella, quality or quantity resonates with me. Michael Larkin says, it's not Gary Vee software, but it's a huge time saver. And Beth Crosby says, at Paul, when you write what you know, you can write short posts, use Canva, and mix in video. Yeah, you know what? I haven't mixed video and Canva yet, but that's probably something I want to explore. I do have a Canva account. And Michael Larkin says, there is a recipe. Robert Sebastian, you do, Paul. You could take 30-second clips from your Sunday Night Live and create hundreds of unique pieces. Beth Crosby says, Paul Meyer, when you write what you know, you can write short. Whoa, did I just read that already?
No.
Maybe.
Repurpose. Absolutely, Beth.
That's good.
Okay. Yes. Wow. Man, there's so much information here. Now, I had you guys send me some stuff to talk about, and I'll be honest, we got through this much of it, literally this much of it, because there's so much great content in what you guys brought to the table here tonight that I hope this really helps a lot of you out there, step up your LinkedIn game. We can all do better, right? Just when, I spend a lot of time on the platform, but I realize that there's so much more that I can do that'll advance my cause so much further. Like I said, there's only 24 hours in a day, sadly, but I appreciate you guys taking the time to come on here and share what you know with me and with the audience. This is priceless stuff. I mean, I hope you guys got value out of this also. And if you did, make sure that your peers are aware of this broadcast, this show, and certainly tonight's episode, because they could pull nuggets from it. I got some stuff that I wrote down here that I'm going to look into and use, because look, nobody knows everything, but when you build community on LinkedIn, everybody knows something. And when all those pieces come together, that's when we have a really strong bond, because we're all helping each other grow. So do you guys have any final thoughts you'd like to part with the audience, and any final questions before we call it a night? Oh, Terry says, let's do another hour.
I'm down. I can talk LinkedIn all day, every day.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
The one thing that I would leave everyone with is, if you're looking for a job, please reach out to David to understand the robot thing, because we didn't get to talk about robot wars. And I think that's a very important topic. Apparently the robots are blocking and tackling you from getting the job that you deserve. And David can help you with that. The way that I can help you is that you only have 3 to 5 seconds if you're looking to attract clients. So when they see your LinkedIn page, the way that you get through the noise, right? With David, you need to fight the robots. With me, you need to fight the ad fatigue, right? We're just all looking at so many different things. We need to cut through the noise and say, how do you help people? Look in your testimonials, look in your recommendations, and you're only looking for the things that are the one low-hanging fruit product. If you wrote a book, if you did a group coaching, but you're really just trying to attract people for one-on-one coaching, only look at those testimonials. If you don't have any yet, look at your closest competitors' testimonials, and then look at what somebody wrote, grab that sentence that you resonate with, and phrase it in a way that underneath your profile picture, make sure you have your profile picture, write it under there in a way that speaks to how you help people. Put it in the format of a question, and that keeps people on your page longer. And that's the quickest way that I can help you learn how to attract people. And if you're looking for a job, you've got to figure out robot wars with David. I'm sorry we didn't get to have the robot conversation.
That's
Paul,
okay.
why didn't you make this a 5-hour chat?
Well, I'll tell you what, and I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but I would like to do another show with the two of you, where we can, because there's so much that we didn't get a chance to cover.
I think you should do a poll and see if people actually want that.
I like it. I'm gonna post a poll, and then if the response is overwhelming, then I would like to invite you both back so that we can continue this, because there's so much more that we need to cover in order to just get better at what we do. Let me just hit a couple of questions here. Let's see here. So,
Ron, what are you having for Thanksgiving? Ron says, thank you all. Have a nice turkey day. Is it corn? Go ahead.
Terry says, come on, Paul, please. And Beth says, Terry Turline, totally, I agree. Ron says, thank you all. Have a nice turkey day. Michael Larkin, brilliant. A must rewatch smiley emoji. Beth Crosby, yes. Robert Sebastian, do it. Russ Man, yes, again, please. Brian Cates, I'm in. Multiple exclamation points. So it'll be curious to see how that poll comes back. So we'll be talking again. So I want to thank both of you for taking time on a Sunday night to be here with the audience. David, Elisa, please put your contact info in the thread, so that people, because undoubtedly they're going to have questions. I just can't imagine anybody not having questions, and I want to make sure that they are able to either go to your website or reach out to you, connect with you if they're not connected with you now. To the audience, again, I thank you very much. I appreciate all the support. We're coming up on my 1-year anniversary in December. I have to look up when that first show was, and it'll be an anniversary show or something. But thank you again, and have a successful week next week. We'll see you next week on Sunday Night Live.